So let us begin. Remember, there's nothing off the table, nothing on the table. Either of those statements are limiting. Choose what you want, begin how you want, and let's rock once again the paradigm. Booyah.
Yes. My first question is related to something that Bashar said, which was, his society co-created a single food source in the representation of a lima bean was the closest representation he had that we have. In your knowledge, experience, what would be mankind, like human on Earth, one, say, primal source of nutrition? Because that is something I would like to experience.
All right. First of all, remember this. That idea that you are perceiving is a fourth density civilization. They are energetic in their own fashion with their own unique paradigm. Food in that idea is not, let's say, an idea of an enjoyment in comparison to what humanity enjoys as what you call nutrition. It is two completely different ideas. So in other words, the lima bean represents a nutrition. Being a human, most certainly you would get exceedingly bored of one idea of nutrition. This is not what you call on the radar scope of humanity to merge itself into the idea of one nutrition source for this space-time now. And upon, let's say, waking up as a co-created fourth density being, that is most certainly a probability. But your enjoyment for the differences of the beauty of what you call eating is, let's say, going to stay around for a while because it is a unique experience that is not perceived by ideas of fourth density beings. Third density beings have their own specialized ideas of nutrition with variances. However, humanity has a very broad range of feeding themselves and giving themselves the idea of pleasure or just the mundane idea of one source. That's limiting because you came here to represent, to be a full God, and whatever you choose for joy is at play. At play in one of the fashions of the senses is taste. Taste in and of itself is extraordinary. So this is why you have a variation of nutritions that will bring you joy upon your engagement with eating, drinking, or whatever it is. It is all part of the experience, and it's not going to be let go of by the third density human civilization, for it brings too much, let's say, idealism of experiencing a human. For once again, you don't experience in this way except as a human, within the construct of the framework of humanity. If the collective whole decides once again to become an idealized one version of a nutrition, most certainly that is at play. But for this space-time now, that again is not on the radar of humanity in any near future, as a third density being for sure. Make sense?
Yes.
Booyah.
I only asked the question because I did a detox before the ayahuasca, and I feel that was the reason I had such a profound connection with the energy of the spirit.
All right, so let me give you this. You feel that, so that's for what you get. Others don't cleanse themselves and have extraordinary experience as well. Remember, there is no room for comparison in this reality. This is so unique, so beautiful, so now, that a comparison is only limitation. If that's your venue that works for you, so be it. But others experience it in a different way as well. That was your avenue, your joy to receive the highest experience and your capable framework of allowing this experience. And that was one of your venues to, quote, set it up. Make sense?
Yes.
So yes, most certainly. Beautiful, however not, let's say, required.
Thank you for that. That clears up a lot of stuff. I find myself always comparing, and this is one of the things I do know, but yet autopilot myself back into.
Yes. Well, remember, humanity is a comparing idea because you are taught comparison from day one. You and your friends compared the clothes, compared what you built, compared your grades, compared your parents, compared your bikes, compared everything. Always wanting to be loved by another in comparison to show another that you have something of value. When truly that's the paradox. Let go of what you perceive as value and then you find value in what you have instead of what you want others to perceive value. Once you value it, there's no comparison needed because it's all you. Make sense?
Yes.
So comparison is built into the construct of polarity. Don't get mad at it. Understand it as you do. You feel yourself shift back into autopilot, but that's the idea of not natural, but natural within the polarity aspect of taught belief systems.
I get a certain sensation of satisfaction in sometimes going into the anger. Is that normal or is
Absolutely. Never deny any aspect of yourself of being a human. If anger and rage is where you are in that now, perfect. Because if you judge it, you're not experiencing yourself fully. You're conditioning the idea of experiencing full anger. Nothing wrong with that because nothing is permanent. It's part of the revelation within yourself to experience directly anger. Then anger exposes itself to you because you are one with anger. Now you see anger is the idea of the illusion and you let it go in that fashion on what triggered that anger. And therefore you no longer, let's say, need it because you understand it. It's much like if you were going back to first grade right now. You would be bored, let's say, very quickly because you know 1 plus 1. You know the alphabet. You don't want to repeat that because it makes no sense. It's a knowing. You want to explore the unknown. Now shift the parallel to the idea of experiencing this triggering idea of anger. Now that you experienced it, you no longer choose to recreate it because you know it. Same idea. Make sense?
Yes.
Just humanity compares it. But that's part of the game. Keep going.
And I believe that the reason it's triggered is because I have this expectation, which again I know not to have. The reflection, as Bashar once said, and so the echo. And when you change the certain responses, the echo should change as well. But I always find that this echo is coming again and again and again. Is that just a belief I hold on to?
Okay, listen. In that idea, when it comes again, do not deny it. Do not say it's coming again because it is an absolute new now and there are variations within that idea. You compare it as let's call it a repetition. But it cannot repeat because it's a new now, it's a new you, and it's a new experience. When you start to view it as that, that's what allows the shift to be exposed in a higher sense of awareness instead of you automatically, in some fashion, saying this is happening again, and I must be drawing it back. Well, yes, you're drawing it back. Nothing wrong with that. But be that fully, and that's what shifts it in its highest vibration. Make sense?
Yes.
Booyah.
In that sense, sometimes like you say, I feel like really going with it and just shouting out, yet I am in the company of other humans. And I fear, for a better word, the repercussions of that when I...
First off, don't get too far ahead. Let's slow down. Fear is the exact word because you are looking at prosecution by your peers. Public scrutiny by your peers.
Yes.
You don't know what's going to happen until you experience what you are feeling in the moment. It's not permanent. Don't fear the outcome because even though you're engaging in screaming at the top of your lungs, is that not your joy for the moment? Of course. Then the mirror gives you back representations through what you call co-created entities, joy. It can be no other way because you're not fearing being in the now. You are saying, I am this. I'm going to represent myself fully so I can experience me, not the fear of the reaction of others because that's conditioning the you that you are in that now. Make sense?
Yes.
So be that and watch what happens. It can only be epic because the engagement to the moment is epic. Therefore, the mirror is perfect. It gives you back exactly what you put out. Period.
Thank you again.
You're welcome.
Pertaining to a new thread, films like The Matrix and Lucy and The Truman Show, I feel very resonant with them, especially The Truman Show, because sometimes I have moments of, whether you call it synchronicity or clarity, where everyone just stops and looks at me and is expecting something, and I have a feeling is to say that I am God really loud, again to the whole theme of speaking my truth out loud.
Yes.
What is your take on, in a sense, reality?
All right. Let us give you this. The idea of Lucy in the Matrix are representations of the core idea of the Truman Show. In that fashion, in your unique reality. Not everyone will perceive this the same because that is that unique once again. There's analogies, but there's never the same vibration of uniqueness. Trust this. All right. So focus upon the idea of a Truman Show. You're on stage, which you are, and everyone around you is actors according to what lines you choose to put out. So when you feel I am God birth up inside of you, speak it, because it's your Truman Show. Make sense? As well as you co-creating the idea of the Truman Show. In other words, you are one of the originating authors of this idea in co-creation of that what you call Jim Carrey as well. You are, let's say, friends, if you will. Does that make sense?
100%.
Upon the fractalized idea, not so much. That doesn't matter, though. That's a limitation. Go beyond that, and then you feel the representation of you two in co-creation. Very insightful by you, by the way. Excellent.
Just to go back to the Bashar thing, said something very profound, which I really enjoyed. He said to one of the guest speakers, I am actually your higher self, utilizing the idea or permission slip of Bashar because you are not ready yet to accept that I am just your higher self communicating back to you what you need to do. So in that sense, what do you represent, Ocyphius? Are you just my higher self, or are you Roxanne's higher self?
Oh, I am absolutely. When it comes down to the simplicity of it all, I am your higher self, representing you. You have, let's say, in co-creation. Now that's a very idea of a lower step. And we'll accelerate up, so stick with me. Co-creation is an idea of separation. Because you're co-creating with another. When truly, I am you 100%. You tell me in that fashion of differentiation, in other words, co-creation, to tell you what you want to hear in the moments that are most beneficial to you, right? And when I'm saying you want to hear, it's your higher self wanting you to hear. So it's you wanting you to hear these words. Are you following me? All right. So in that idea, I represent, in separation of humanity's perspective, your higher self. In the fullness of it, I am your higher self. Make sense?
Yes.
It is all an engagement of evolution. To hold on to a higher idea, fully expand upon it, and then go to the next validating higher idea. So the idea of co-creation is moving into the oneness of all. And now you are seeing on the outskirts of your framework of reality that you are only you here. So you are projecting your own show, and I am you.
And I say thank you, higher self.
You're most welcome.
And in this case, shall we kick it up a notch?
Of course.
On the sense of vision, Bashar talks about the 7 steps of manifestation, or shall I say, I talk about the 7 steps of manifestation. Vision being the first one. I see this as everything in my personal understanding, because to me everything is vision, even the senses. What is your take on vision and the importance of it in manifestation?
Visualization is a segue, if you will, into the vibrational context of the moment that you're choosing to visualize. So when you visualize, you encompass all of your senses into that moment. Visualization is the easiest because it's the most familiar. Your sight in your 3D idea of vision, as well as your third eye idea, your imagination, it's truly all one, because everything originates as thought, translated in human perspective upon evolution, vision is the most competent right now. So Bashar is absolutely right, but it is not the end-all, tell-all, final idea. All of that leads into, segues, if you will, feeling of the moment. Because you are vibrationally a feeling more than anything else. Does that make sense?
Yes, I feel my emotions feel more like vibrations now than actually emotion.
Yes, they are vibrations, and you interpret them in several different ways. Assign them meaning, translate them into vision, into the idea of your senses. But you want to feel the moment of vision. If you vision yourself somewhere in a different space-time now, complete the process, if you will, by being there, from there, live there, and experience that moment from this conscious perspective. Don't gaze into it, be from it, live in it, and experience everything to the best of your ability, how it would feel, including all of your senses and all of your emotions in that moment, which manifests that moment in your series of nows to be perceived by simply following your idea of now joyfully.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then, yes, the second one would be desire and excitement, which is what you just said now. It's following the. Of course, believing it is the third one. If you don't believe it, it isn't. You can never have manifest. And then accepting that belief as this is the reality. I'd like to diverge. I'm going to be, because I'm very, very pent up. I'm very excited as well.
Excellent.
Salvia divinorum.
Mm-hmm.
It's something I have been looking into, and I had an experience where I had my first, I would say, inner contact with a conscious being who left a statement which I could not deny, and that was under the lines of, if you are in my world as much as you are in yours, wouldn't I be real?
What was the name you connected this with?
It didn't have a name, but it felt feminine. I
Mm.
was in a sense, from what my mind could make of the journey, I was an end of a little toy carriage, and she was the head train, and then because I was becoming aware in that state, going from this state,
Yes.
I was slowing down the movement, and then she turned back after I was like getting a bit scared, and she said, everything's alright.
Yes.
And then yeah. So in that sense, I was like, I can't deny that this being is one, intelligent, and two, real, because that statement is real. If I
All
was
right. Stand by. If you perceive this reality right now as real, make sense? Are you following me on this? The reason why is because you believe it fully to where it's a knowing. You know this is real. So when something comes into your reality that you have to question, then that knowing falls back, if you will, to an idea of belief. Your filter between that reality being real and a believable reality, a possibility, is what you are, let's say, limiting with. The filter is thick or thin. You believe you wake up and there's no filter because you are knowing I am alive. I am real. This is reality. So when you give yourself a paradox of something that is out of bounds of what you perceive as real, It is a setup for you to understand that no matter where you are, what is in your mind is all real. All of it is real. There is no not real because it's all you creating the light show, the light bending around you to give you a perspective of reality. Real reality. Make sense?
That's that's that that's fucking crazy, but it's awesome at the same time. But I'm just like there is everything is real. Like
Yes.
it's all one.
There is nothing that is not real.
But then I'm like, I can't distinguish anymore. I can't compare anymore. I can't do anything
Do you
that
need
I've
to?
done. No.
There you go.
But it's this.
Because you're looking for anchors. You're looking for anchors of validity to hold on to. And this is you slipping away from the reality you know and cherish because of the security. You're fearing the unknown. Make sense?
Yeah.
So you want to question your reality because if you slip out of this one, where will you go? Well, you will go into whatever you're choosing. And you, the higher self, trust this, will give you what you can perceive as reality. There's no shifting to an unrelatable reality for a focused, idea fractalized human being. In other words, you're not going to shift to, let's say, being a moonbeam because you wouldn't understand how to relate to it. So therefore, you would not experience it as a real reality. Make sense?
Makes sense.
All right. So in that fashion, you're giving yourselves higher aspects of reality, questioning your validity, your footholds of this reality where you have your home base. But that's the idea, because your home base is wherever you are. And whatever comes in is you. That's the in and of itself idealized realization. Wherever you are is you, and that is reality. It cannot not be. As Bashar had said, and we will echo him, everything in existence is here. Everything in non-existence is over there. Non-existence is full, and existence is full. Make sense? Okay, so how can anything in existence which you are perceiving at all nows be non-existence? That's not real. What is real is everything that you perceive. Your vibration to the relation of your relationship of your reality is your reality in all the nows. And as you generate more love for yourself and allow and fortify the I am that you are, you give yourself, give yourself higher aspects of reality that will question, once again, your own limitations of beliefs. And this is the evolution of humanity. This is the master class that you have chosen. By being the epic human that you are and engaging all of it, but not saying or limiting what it is to be human, is the real evolution of yourself, the highest possibility. Make sense? Doesn't mean you cannot go out to another planet, create with another civilization, but it's all done from a human experience as reality so you can bend the limitations of your own foundation. And that, bringing other things in that are out of bounds, only widens your framework of reality, allowing more things. A lot of them will do with what you call real as human, but they will be within a perspective of acceptable framework as a human. However, some other people will not be able to perceive it as human because their frequency won't allow that in. This is why it's unique. So in other words, you can co-create with a different civilization that no one has ever heard of, and humanity as a whole won't be able to co-create with you on that, but it's your journey of allowing reality in to experience your circumferencing idea of what it is to be human. Does that make sense?
I feel like it is like reality shopping in a sense.
Oh yes, that's a beautiful word. You are shopping for reality. Perfect.
Because I'd say from the get-go, I knew lucid dreaming, or the term lucid dreaming, which is just being more aware and more liberated from beliefs which are
Yes.
limiting. That was it. Like that for me. Like that's my goal. Like that kind of, and then transitioning it to both together, like merging in a sense, in where, well, slowly letting go of the beliefs.
Yes.
Yeah.
Look back into society, all right? All you have to do is look back at human collective, and you can go back through history, and let's take it simple. There's jobs, way people make living. In the 30s, 20s, there was, let's say, knife, scissor sharpeners. They would push their cart down the street, ring a bell, and people would come out and have their items sharpened. Make sense? Now, that's no longer serviceable because you have progressed from there. All right? Are you following me so far? You have knives, you have home sharpeners, you have things that don't dull. That kind of idea. You evolved and let go of that paradigm, of that construct. Because you represent a shift of focus as valid to no longer needed to a new focus of valid. Right? So you, me, the one, give you things that are different, higher, evolutionary in comparison to your valid reality now. So you let go of things little by little and attach to things more and more. You energize those, they become a full reality to where you don't even recognize yourself in the last lifetime or the one before, and of course portions of yourself in this reality as well, the focused you. In other words, you look back at a space-time now and you look at yourself and says, wow, what the hell was I thinking? Well, at that time, you were thinking what is acceptable within your framework of reality. But as your evolution occurred, you gave yourself perceivable truths in a higher fashion to hold on to, slowly letting go of your anchor, your treasure, your I am that you consider yourself in separation. Deconstructing that and allowing more of you to expose yourself to yourself. Therefore, that old you is no longer you. Make sense? So you're always going to question your ideas of facts because you don't want to be factual. You want to be ever evolving. Make sense?
Oh yeah.
Beautiful.
May I call you higher self?
Hmm.
Higher self.
Yes.
I feel stagnant for the job reason. I hold strongly to the idea that I don't want to work, but I have the strong belief that I have to sustain myself within this paradigm still.
Yes.
Because I'm finding that I'm not shifting quick enough.
Listen, this is the trust of the now. You have set this up. I have set this up. We have set this up, however you want to perceive it. But truly, the idea is to say, I have set this up. I don't want to work. No, you don't. You want to create your joy. That will give you your means of abundance in many different fashions. As long as you aren't limiting it, it will flow in. But if you condition what you consider abundance, it will be staved off to another space-time now. However, you, will always give you what you need in every moment. That is built into the system. Every single human being will always have food and shelter. It is the choice of them not to. So in that idea, you're not going to go back to ground zero. You don't need to. However, we want you to let go of when, how, and why, and where, and all that good stuff of questioning the future, which only gives conflict because it's not now. Now is everything. If you look right now, you have everything. If you are not satisfied with what you have, you're comparing to a want of a higher definition of satisfied. But satisfactory is only temporary. You want to find the happiness in every moment fully by viewing your reality as creation, love, experience, and not defining it in comparison to a judgment or a, let's say, measure of success.
Yes.
This is why you're set this up.
Yeah.
You don't want to work, therefore you shall not. However, when you work as other people perceive you, you will not be working. You will be creating your joy. I will give you an example. There are many what you call sanitary workers in the world. Others view, I would hate to have that job sucks. But there are many of them in there that don't view it as a job. They consider it their joy. It's not permanent, it's that person in that space-time now, creating that. That person is happy. That's what they chose, and they realize, I love doing this. Therefore, their reality keeps giving them that until they're done. So when you're now loving your job, as others would view it, to you, it will never be a job. However, the reality will give you the income, if you will, the fortification of abundance as that creation. Now, it will not come in an idea maybe of an employer, but it will be viewed in such a way as a job. Roxy does not consider herself as a channeler being a job. She frickin' loves it. Loves doing the sessions, loves creating the YouTube, loves public speaking. This is not a job for her. This is her joy. However, people say, what do you do for a living? Make sense? And the answer is, I make a life. And that life provides me with the abundance I need to continue my joy. So when you're in the moment, beautify your reality with your love for your reality, and that reality will only offer higher perspectives of yourself to allow, in this specific unique idea question, abundance to flow. Make sense?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So, myself, on the terms of discernment,
Mm-hmm.
feeling of the vibration, how do I know? Not how, sorry.
No, that's a valid question. That's okay.
How do I know which choice to choose?
The one? All right. You know what resistance is, yes?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
In what, sorry?
Resistance. You get an idea and you feel resistance on it. You push against it in your idealized mind and you feel the presence of a certain vibration known as fear. Then you know you're discerning that moment. If that moment you are pushing against offers joy, however fear is present, that's your ego telling you no. Don't act upon your joy for security reasons. Whatever you choose in the moment is your, let's say, best version of discernment. You cannot choose wrong. We will echo that of Bashar once again. Channel do that of Daryl Lincoln. You are always vibrating at your highest possible self. Your core vibration is love. So every action is the best version of love that you perceive. There are no, let's say, truly spiteful actions. Because you're not that person. There's no such thing in the idea of your core vibration being that of negative. You can't. Your birth and exist as love. So you vibrate that love all the time. You take action. You feel something. That's your best you. You get an idea. You're saying, well, what if I need to feel this? You know automatically. Choose it. That's your best self. And if the next now it says, no, it's not, then have you not evolved? Of course. That's the beauty. There are moments of discernment that says, I know this is not me. Then you know. When you automatically trust that vibration that says to you instantaneously, oh, I do not choose this. I do not obligate myself to this. I do not need this.
Yes.
No matter what fear is screaming down your neck, as in speaking your joy and shouting out to the world, I am God. Saying those words, your discernment says say it, because it's the truth. Your fears say no, because you will be prosecuted publicly. You know your joy. Make sense?
I am God.
Of course.
Yes.
100%. There is only me, you.
That's, yeah.
1. Bingo.
I just want to say thank you very much because I find clarity to be the most rewarding of.
Yes. The clarity in and of itself is the evolution of joy, is it not? When you realize a new, let's say, idea of wisdom that replaces any doubt, any belief, it becomes the full knowing, that clarity, there's no more, let's say, joyful moment because you revealed yourself to you. Oh, that's the evolution of humanity. That's the joy of being here, is to work your way in that idea of limitation, work your way through all the nows to the best of your ability, being the most epic human you can be, to reveal yourself that you are God in wisdom every moment.
The thing is,
You
I
are
know
clearer.
I know I am. Like, I have the amount of synchronicities now which are coming, and just intuitive. Like, just what is your definition of intuition? Because I'm having a lot of that now, and it's coupled with the whole feeling concept.
The idea of intuition is to know what's coming in the now that you are on. In other words, you sense the next now. You are intuitive because you're so tuned in, you're drawing the nows more and more to you. You are experiencing what it feels like to be sequentialtaneous as a spirit being. You feel all the time your reality and know the idea of every now. You are still playing within the paradigm of time, so intuition is your definition, your interpretation of sensing in time the next now. What is real? What you know already because you are in that now. Why? Because everything is now. You are playing that now, much in a parallel relationship, same idea of deja vu. You are already playing it out. You just experience it. I've already been here. Yes. Intuition says, I know what's coming. Why? Because I'm already there. You're connecting the oneness now. Does that make all sense?
Yes, I actually had some deja vu just before we spoke.
Booyah.
I always want to just let loose and just go mad at it. Like, not mad in a negative sense, but like just, have some fun with it.
Yes.
So,
What's
I don't
going to
know.
happen? I don't know. So when you follow your joy, listen to that now. When you follow your joy, the mirror is perfect. The mirror gives you back joy. Period. So the only thing that is what is going to happen is one word, joy. Period. The mirror does not say, oh, no, we can't give you that. Because you are the mirror. You are this bubble of reality. It's all you. That's the beauty of the fullness of being a free will. There is no not free will. Trust that. But now you are seeing how free you are. You can choose anything. It's only your belief that says, no, that might. But the truth of the matter is when you engage it fully, and a lot of times we say this, you get a case of the fuckets, and you just do it, it's always epic, isn't it? Of course. Because the mirror is perfect. And at this stage, surrender.
Yeah.
Trust me, which is you, right? I am giving you this words because I am you. Trust, surrender, allow, naked, vulnerable, and let the mirror represent what you are.
Yeah.
The more you get out of your way, the more epic it is.
Oh, it is epic. Thank you, Harrison.
You're welcome.
When I was young, going onto a timeline basis, I loved fire. I don't know if that makes me part of the idea of the oversoul collective fire, but I was a little pyromaniac. Got in trouble, of course, for it. Nothing dangerous. Just, yeah.
You know what fire is in its core vibration? What you would understand as a definition?
The thing that comes to my mind is pure energy, but I don't know.
An entity.
Entity, okay.
It is an idea of a representation to experience reality. This is why you love, because you are, in that fractalized idea, an element of fire. Not the Oversoul Collective, the fire that you play with when you were younger. You were, let's say, remembering yourself. Only the conditions of reality told you this and that, and you represented in whatever way you could. You were just, let's say, finding yourself. You're the idea element of fire.
I don't know myself. Then is there something that, apart from following my highest excitement at every given moment, is there something you feel? Can you feel my energy from all the way?
Can I feel your energy?
Well, you are my energy.
Yes. Answer your own question. Very good.
I would like some clarity
Mm.
and have something to share that I should know. Then please.
Stand by. Let go of the past idealisms that keep you in a contemporary state of victimhood. Not so much of, let's say, abandonment, victimhood, or being taken advantage of victimhood. There is a low resonance of, let's say, rejection, not being loved, that is, let's say, unforgiven within your idea, which is only the construct within this paradigm of humanity, to be forgiven, or to forgive. The first step is to forgive those, let's say, abuses in that fashion that put you in the state of victimhood in a contemporary fashion. Again, not too daunting, but an underlying thread that is always present in all your nows. For it is still a core vibration that is, let's say, hidden behind, let's say, the chair in the attic that you do not see. So we are moving the chair and you now can see the dust bunny in the corner that no longer serves you.
Yes.
Forgive first and then realize there's no forgiveness needed because there is no one else except you.
Yeah. These are things that I'm becoming more and more aware of. Which, my next question, if everything is new and in every moment new, where does memory come in? Because memory should be new. How do I remember if everything is new?
Memory is new. Memory is created in the moment. Memory does not, let's say, exist in the last moment.
And that's like the most magical thing. That
Isn't it beautiful?
Yeah, like how,
The past does not create the now creates the past.
because in the sense of like writing a story, it would be like, well, I can't. It's just beautiful. Like,
Yes.
in every new moment, everything is blank, but yet this continuity is created, even though in every moment it's like you're born and die, like in billions of times.
Yes.
That's
Very good.
It's
Now you're starting to see the epic idea on how grand of a creator you are.
yeah.
To co-create every moment in that perfect idea of, in this idea down here in human perspective, of fluidity.
Yeah.
It all makes sense. Part of memory created in the moment to give you that experience of time.
And going back to memory, like when I let go of that, I've become in the now, and this is what I realized. I think 1 or 2 days ago. I create memory to take myself out of the now, to create the story of whether that is for my ego basis or for the anchoring.
Mm-hmm.
But stop making memory and stop telling a story. I just am present in the now, and I'm just like,
Yes, that is your journey. The memory that creates in the moment that gives you a reflection of the past is beneficial to you. That's why it's there. It is a cause, if you will, for a reflection on an idea that inhibits you in your next now.
yes.
That's the beauty of the reality of memory. It's all for the perfect moment of reflection to yourself.
That is a reflection which is so tantalizing and so drawing in that it takes me out of who I am, who I truly am, which is just now. That's the whole point.
Don't get mad at it. It serves a purpose.
I see the beauty, but
Yes.
the whole point is that like the perfect. I don't want to use the word. I'll say it, the perfect trap in a sense, like memory. Because is that getting mad at it, labeling it a trap? Because
in a way, because a trap has a paradigm of limitation. Yeah. Memory is not limiting. Memory is serviceable to you. Truly.
See, I see memory as limiting, how can I, with your help, see it as empowering?
Let's say we started it all, we're going to put time into this because this works for humanity. The thought that you were your original created self in the now, your idealized I am became, let's say, aware of itself. In other words, the creator's thoughts were having thoughts upon themselves. You were thinking. Make sense? You exist now, right? Are you following me?
Okay.
Your
Yeah.
original you had nothing to reflect upon your experience. You were always now. There was no idea
Yeah.
of what was experienced. Make sense? You were a
Okay.
fleeting thought forever. There is no
Yeah.
now in the past to reflect upon.
Yeah.
Okay? So we gave ourselves a soul memory complex.
Okay.
Ta-da!
Yes.
Because you would not know what you have experienced without that idealized soul memory complex.
And that
You'd
is the
be
reflection.
always fleeting. That is the reflection.
So the soul memory complex is the reflection.
Yes. This
Okay.
is your container. You are expanding your soul memory complex. You're filling yourself with experience.
So am I, in a sense, a ball within another ball, or what is the relationship, say, in a physical representation of that?
Your soul is all you, and you are, let's say, energized out of that, if you will, as a fractalized idea. Spiderweb it out as many times as you want. But you are still that oneness. Yes?
And the prime particle, does that play any part in this, or is that just another idea within the fractalized nature of
The prime
myself?
particle, the idea is a fractalized, yes. Permission slip, if you will.
Well, then it's anything, really. It's anything. That's the point. It's anything.
Yes. Now you see there's no limitations.
Yeah.
Now you see you do not need to find a fact to move on to the next now.
Yeah.
That's the fleeting moment of evolution. You're just like, okay.
I've let go now. Then I've got nothing to hold on to.
Bingo. Now you're trusting the idea of the unknown to see what I am to you so you can see in the focused experience of being a human what it is to be God.
Paradoxically, even though you're giving me anchors, you're a representation of letting go.
Yes.
Anchors are to let go.
Bingo. It's an evolution. Relax. Have fun.
Yes, sorry.
No. Beautiful.
I love it.
We
Thank
as
you very
well.
much.
You're most welcome.
Back to the ayahuasca, because that was so profound. I met an entity who sat in this kind of rainbow prism or box, and all he said was, I give love. Everyone gives love, and that's my only purpose, is to sit here and give love. Do you know this kind of thing, or is this just within my unique?
That was a representation to know that every interaction you have in that idea will be only love. You were fearful, weren't you?
Yep. Oh, very. Because I was like, this guy's just sitting
So
here.
what else would you say than I am love. I only give love. To give you an idea, okay, I'm good here. So you can experience more vibration of that reality.
Like this, okay, at least this part of me is giving love, but I don't have to.
Right. Listen. The idea of being anywhere in fear will only give you a limited idea of co-creation. The less you fear, the more ideas are allowed to come in because you are all love. So you're in this tiny little fractalized bubble, and the more, let's say, you love because you know everything is love, the more ideas of love come in. Simple. So the idea of humanity wanting to co-create with an alien, the reason is because they're fearing. They don't get the experience. Most of them are fearing. They think they want it, but when it comes down to it, it's scary. It's not that the other entity won't co-create, it's because the vibrations are not aligned. So you, in the rainbow box, want to experience more, so what other way am I going to give to you than know that it's all love? By telling you in the simplest idea, I give love. That is all.
Yeah.
Simple.
It's simple.
Don't overthink it.
And I think this is extremely helpful and beneficial to me. we have 4 minutes left, so higher self, first of all, thank you very much, and thank you to Roxanne for making it possible to connect with my higher self. You helped me a lot, so thank you very much.
You're most welcome. All right, let me give you this idea. I need to, which is you in the fractalized self, I'm telling you because I'm telling me, I need to understand that vibration is everything. I need to understand that relating to vibration allows experience. As I learn in remembrance, if you will, how to relate to different realities, I experience more of reality. So, I give myself practicums, lucid dreams, and different avenues to perceive higher idealized senses of reality. However, I do not need to rush it because I need to understand, relate to that environment. I cannot go to the moon and breathe no air. However, I can go to the moon and live happily as a human with no air. Until I understand how to relate within that vibrational frequency, I will not be able to live and experience in the idea of being on the moon with, quote, no oxygen. However, as I'm learning to relate to the frequency of being on the moon in the physical idea self, in the cold, in the heat, then I can exist there because it's my reality. So I'm allowing myself more and more to vibrate into different relationships, giving myself remembrances, familiarity of that reality. Therefore, I can, quote, stay there longer and realize more of myself in those realities. I will represent these again in the idea of lucid dreams, waking states of meditation, walking, if you will, and I will shift in and out of timelines as well to always give myself, let's say, polarity of what I found in the past as concrete and definable as reality. So you're going on a joyride. Have fun.
Thank you very much.
You're most welcome. All right. At this space time now, I will return you to that of Roxanne. It has been most epic once again. I bid you a good day. Adone.